country is home to ancient temples famous for their serene beauty and the hospitality of its people. With an incredibly diverse and rich culture, Cambodia welcomes tourists with sincerity and friendliness. However, when visiting this country, tourists should also note the special regulations and customs to avoid unnecessary troubles. For example, wearing revealing clothing is prohibited and glasses must be worn, as well as not using the left hand for pointing or in eating. Moreover, Cambodian culture is very distinctive, with profound traditions and unique customs. This is an opportunity for us to explore the fascinating aspects of this country. Right now, let's join Vu Tru Yin Bai to learn about the beauty and allure of Cambodia in our universe. At the same time, discover the special prohibitions unique to Cambodia. Clothing management in Cambodia has become a controversial issue in the community, especially when these regulations extend beyond temples and public places. You may already know, the ban on wearing revealing clothes in temples is obvious and widely accepted. However, the problem arises when this rule applies even to daily life and online activities like live stream selling. According to an RT article on August 1, 2010, Cambodian police are allowed to fine women wearing skirts that are too short or too thin, and men going barefoot in public. Cambodian officials believe this is a measure to protect and maintain traditional cultural values. However, these measures have also faced strong opposition from human rights groups. They argue that strictly imposing dress regulations can lead to inequality and unnecessary control over women. For example, in early 2021, a woman in Cambodia was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen also called on those live stream selling not to wear attire that is offensive to culture and traditional values. The issue is not only about preserving culture, but also part of a debate on individual freedom and gender equality. Each individual and community has their own perspective on this matter. So, do you support the effort to preserve traditional culture? Or do you think these regulations are excessive and hinder individual freedom? Please comment your opinion below so we can all know. Dear friends, come to Cambodia, where over 90% of the population is Buddhist. Understanding and adhering to temple conduct rules is extremely important. This is not only about respecting culture and beliefs, but also strictly complying with the country's legal regulations. Cambodia considers Buddhism a state religion, therefore, any behavior that insults or disrespects Buddhism is unacceptable. And it is very likely that you will face criminal charges, even imprisonment. Therefore, if you have the opportunity to visit Cambodia, when touring temples, you need to follow these rules. Absolutely do not wear short pants or skirts when entering temples, as this not only violates conduct rules, but also disrespects the sacred space. Do not wear flip-flops when visiting sacred areas in temples, because flip-flops symbolize uncleanliness and disrespect. Do not touch or point at Buddhist statues. Do not climb or sit on the steps of Buddhist statues, because this behavior is inappropriate to the sacredness of the images. Avoid scribbling on walls or damaging the temple landscape, because this diminishes the sacredness and negatively affects beliefs. Additionally, when buying Buddhist statues for worship, you also need to follow certain principles. That is, do not place Buddhist statues in a bedroom, because this is considered an offense to the beliefs of local people. Especially, if you are a woman, do not stand too close or touch monks, because this action is seen as disrespectful and can cause unnecessary trouble. All these regulations are not only related to culture, but also demonstrate respect and protection of religious values. Culture of a country with a strong Buddhist foundation like Cambodia. Therefore, following these rules helps you avoid legal troubles and simultaneously shows respect and humanity. Prohibition of public displays of affection. Cambodia, a Buddhist country, is famous for its profound religious culture and respect for moral values, which sets some special behavioral rules, especially regarding public displays of affection, a reality very different from the West. In Cambodia, hugging, caressing, or kissing a lover, wife or husband, in public is considered inappropriate and often causes displeasure or discomfort. Although not criminally prosecuted, it can lead to serious consequences, especially when local people feel their sacred values are offended and the solemnity of public and religious places is affected. Therefore, to avoid unnecessary troubles, you should restrain yourself and respect the local culture. Displaying overly casual affection or intentionally flirting with women in Cambodia is not only impolite but can also cause offense and controversy. Instead, you should show respect and reverence for local people by maintaining polite behavior and not disturbing the community. This not only helps maintain good relationships, but also protects you from awkward situations. Remember, when visiting a country with special culture and religion like Cambodia, respect and understanding of behavioral rules are extremely important for a complete and memorable trip. When visiting Cambodia, you need to note some special customs and behavioral rules related to the use of the right and left hands. This is not only a cultural regulation, but also shows respect for local people. One of the most important things in Cambodia is the use of the right hand. Cambodians consider the right hand sacred, used for important and respectful actions, like giving and receiving, offering at temples, and greeting. Conversely, the left hand is seen as unclean, usually reserved for hygiene tasks. Therefore, when shaking hands or using hands to handle objects, remember to use your right hand to respect the customs and beliefs of the local people here, especially when receiving gifts or exchanging gifts or money. You should also use your right hand. This shows respect and demonstrates a polite and proper action, according to the culture of this land. Additionally, when holding to point to an item, you should use your whole hand or both fingers to point, because pointing with one finger may be considered impolite and inappropriate in the cultural context of Cambodia. In summary, using the right hand is an important part of respecting the culture and traditional values of Cambodia. This not only helps you integrate better, but also contributes to respect and maintaining good relationships with the local people. Therefore, when coming to this beautiful country, remember to always use your right hand to avoid misunderstandings and make your trip an interesting and rewarding experience. World champion banned from competing in multiple events at SEA Games 32. You might not believe this if I say it, but alongside the warm welcome for the 32nd SEA Games, Cambodia has drawn attention with controversial regulations in the sports events. The most notable is the decision to limit the participation of famous gymnasts. Carlos Yulo from the Philippines is only allowed to register for 4 events. According to information from the Philippine newspaper Rapid, Carlos Yulo, who significantly contributed to winning 5 gold medals and 2 silver medals for the Philippine sports team at SEA Games 31 in Vietnam, has had his ability to win gold medals at this SEA Games limited. This has caused considerable controversy and frustration for the Philippines. However, the president of the Philippine Gymnastics Association remains optimistic and determined with his team, not stopping at individual restrictions. Cambodia also introduced major changes in the badminton competition structure, with the addition of a mixed team event and only allowing 5 countries to participate. This means that this sport will not face strong competition from rivals like Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, the Philippines, and even Vietnam. Although adding new events to increase the medal count is not new in SEA Games history, the restrictions on athletes or teams from Cambodia still raise questions and express frustration among the public. This once again confirms the complexity and diversity of organizing a major sports event like the SEA Games. With all this, emotions and competition always go hand in hand. SEA Games 32 in Cambodia is not only a platform for athletes to showcase their talents, but also a playground for countries to demonstrate unity and solidarity through competition on the field. Taboos in behavior. Friends, in Cambodia, over 90% of the population is Khmer, and Khmer is the official language of this country. Khmer people live in silk houses, use their hands to eat rice, and greet by pressing their palms together. Depending on the status and relationship, the hands are pressed higher. Khmer culture reflects respect for tradition and family values, clearly shown through customs and rituals in daily life. Therefore, when coming to Cambodia, you need to pay special attention to the following taboos. When you visit a Cambodian person's home, remember to do small things like taking off your shoes and leaving them outside the door. That is a sign showing cleanliness and respect for the interior space of the house. If invited to have a meal here, bringing some small gifts like fruits is a polite gesture and shows gratitude towards the host. Especially during the meal, you should let the host lead and should not eat before them, because traditionally, elders are given priority and you should let them eat first. That is respect and gratitude for the care of elders. Additionally, in daily life, remember not to pat children's heads, as this is considered an intrusion into their sacred part, or pointing your feet towards others or touching Buddha statues. And worship objects are also taboos. Moreover, in rural areas, respect for women and young children is even more emphasized. You need to avoid physical contact and should not hold hands, unless the other party agrees. These are the basic rules for you to approach and respect Cambodian culture in a subtle and proper way. These distinctive features of Cambodian culture are not only codes of conduct, but also reflect the respect and politeness of the local people. When you behave according to these principles, you not only demonstrate civility, but also explore and understand more deeply about the diverse and rich culture of this Southeast Asian country. When setting foot in Cambodia, one of the destinations you probably cannot miss is the magnificent and splendid Royal Palace. This is not only a symbol of historical power, but also a place highly revered and cherished by the Cambodian people. Cambodian culture is based on the reverence for the royal family. Therefore, you need to adhere to appropriate rules and rituals. Accordingly, never entertain thoughts of mocking or any disrespectful actions towards the king and royal family members. Polite and respectful attitudes are necessary when referring to the royal family, no matter where you are on Cambodian territory. Additionally, when having the opportunity to visit areas within the royal palace, remember to take photos only when permitted. This is to protect the privacy and sanctity of this space and to avoid trouble. Always show respect and reverence when approaching matters related to the royal family. Cambodia, although a developing country with a strong economy and tourism, still faces serious issues of hunger and poverty and the gap between rich and poor. Tourist areas are often hotspots for vendors and beggars, especially children. In Cambodia, you can easily encounter children selling books, bracelets, and handicrafts in bars, restaurants, even on the streets and at any time of the day. They often appear cute and beg tourists to buy their goods. However, behind that appearance is an unpleasant reality. That is how these children deceive and exploit tourists' kindness to earn money. Accordingly, giving them money or buying their goods is not helping, but rather perpetuating the cycle of poverty and dependence on begging. This becomes more complicated when giving money or buying goods. Not only sustains poverty but can also lead to other serious social consequences, such as weakening the role of the family, violence, and even sexual violence. It is known that local authorities here have also tried to implement measures to address the issue, but the problem still persists and is more complex than ever. Because to solve hunger and poverty discrimination, comprehensive intervention from all levels of government, social organizations, and close cooperation from the international community is. Accordingly, when you come to Cambodia, help them by supporting community development projects, buying from social stores, or simply sharing correct understanding and awareness about this issue. That is truly the way for you to aim for a brighter future for the children and the Cambodian community as well. Do not use elephant riding services. Walking around tourist spots in Cambodia, it's not hard to come across elephant riding services, an activity that really catches the attention of many tourists. However, behind that excitement is a sad reality, which is that elephants often endure cruelty and have been mistreated in the past. Therefore, the best choice for you is not to participate in elephant riding activities, no matter how exciting it may seem. This will prevent you from contributing to cruelty towards animals. Elephants are often separated from their mothers when they are young, confined to tight iron cages, and endure beatings to be controlled by humans. This is an extremely cruel form of treatment and is unacceptable in modern times. Actions like riding elephants not only harm you but also mean encouraging and maintaining cruel behaviors towards animals. Please share this information with those around you so they can also understand and avoid this elephant riding service. This is how we can together fight against cruelty to animals and protect the environment. Instead, you can support sustainable and responsible tourism activities such as bringing wildlife observation tours in nature, or participating in activities connected with local culture that do not harm animals and the environment. By acting this way, you can contribute to building a sustainable tourism community and help protect Cambodia's cultural and natural values for future generations. Note on currency. In Cambodia, although the official currency unit is the riel, the US dollar is also in circulation at a fixed exchange rate. This leads to a riel being mainly used for small transactions under one United States dollar. Meanwhile, the US dollar is typically used for larger transactions from one United States dollar. This means you should prepare small change for daily activities. Because Cambodian people rarely use large denomination bills like 100 United States dollars or 20 United States for small transactions such as paying for tuk-tuks, it's noteworthy that old, torn bills are often not accepted, especially for higher denominations. If your bill is torn or damaged, you may have difficulty using it in Cambodia. So, to avoid inconvenience, always carry new and intact bills. Also, note that when withdrawing money from ATMs, some machines may randomly give you USD or riel, while others will allow you to choose the currency unit you prefer. In this case, choosing USD is probably more optimal because USD is widely accepted and easier to transact with. In summary, when preparing for a trip to Cambodia, you should bring small change and always pay attention to the condition of the bills, to ensure you can conduct transactions as smoothly as possible. Additionally, choose to withdraw money wisely to avoid unnecessary hassles during your journey. Need to equip bargaining skills. When coming to Cambodia, you need to prepare your bargaining skills before starting your shopping journey. Because this country is famous for sellers who tend to overcharge customers. Especially in tourist areas, shopping areas in Cambodia often have items with sky-high prices that may surprise and dissatisfy you. It's important that you should not accept the first price the seller offers. Instead, ask carefully about the price before deciding to buy anything. Usually, after asking the price, you should bargain down to at least half or 1/3 of the original price. T agree, Don. In reality, it often will call you back and renegotiate that price. However, there may be cases where you are not called back if the price you offer is too low and not reasonable for them. The useful tip is not to be too overconfident in bargaining. If you feel the price the seller is asking is too high, firmly refuse and look elsewhere. This is a way to help you save costs and feel more satisfied with each shopping transaction. Additionally, for an easier shopping experience, prepare cash with small denominations. This helps you easily bargain and avoid issues such as receiving large amounts of change or damaged banknotes. Be mindful and careful to have an interesting and economical travel experience in Cambodia. Dear friends, Cambodia, with its rich traditions, culture, and spirituality, has always been an attractive destination for tourists across South Asia. Here, you will have the opportunity to explore unique cultural heritages such as the mysterious Angkor temples or experience life in traditional villages. Additionally, Cambodia offers you profound spiritual experiences through festivals and religious ceremonies. Coming to Cambodia, you will immerse yourself in the grandeur and cultural diversity of a vibrant country. What do you think? If you have the chance to experience this place, share your thoughts by commenting below. Don't forget to give a like to Enigmatic Echoes, subscribe to the channel so you don't. For now, goodbye and see you again. Subscribe to the Gian Migo channel so you don't miss captivating videos.